The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Boyz II Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Mic Checka, the show where I talk to dope people doing dope things. I got my big, he my little brother. You know what I'm saying? Not physically, but age-wise. Because he's bigger than
the same height right now.
That's the only time we are the same height as right now.
We're the same height right now.
Another illustrious graduate of Saints University High School, my high school. One of my best friends in the world. I'm super proud of what he's done with his career. I mean, you like what the VP, the man over at the hospital, or the whatever, the doctor center or whatever?
Yeah. All purpose to, but officially titled Chief Executive Officer for Mercy Rehab Hospital in Oklahoma City. But
of course, you just like John Shipp, you gotta pull your whole title out. But you can just be like, yeah, I'm up there. You had to put the
that literally means everything. So that means I'm doing floors. That means I'm in meetings. That means I'm outside flagging down cars. You name it. So
when's the last time you did a floor?
This morning. Today, this afternoon.
You buffed the floors this afternoon.
No, I'm not talking about buffing floors, but I mean out on floors.
See, that's the thing. Somebody's like, man, he's sweeping the floors. Like, no.
I have swept the floor, and I would say 3 weeks ago. It's been about 3 weeks since, and it was a need. I saw it. You do it.
Yeah. Okay. My man, Thomas Elliott. Thank you for coming on, man.
No, pleasure, dude. So this is my first and only time I've done a podcast. So
hey, you saw it. Don't sound like you like somebody
featuring me. I should say, right? Not like this is my first time on whatever.
I was going with that, but I was talking about how you like, you know, how people like, man, it's gonna be my only interview. You know, like this is my first and only interview about, you know, when I was in the drug game. You know, like
right. I called my publicist and they said this is it.
Exactly. So let's start out, man, from your beginnings, man. Like, what was your beginnings? I mean, people think like, oh yeah, you made the chief executive officer. They don't understand the journey that people go through and like where they came from and what, you know, how they got there. But let's start with your youth and, you know, growing up.
Okay. All right. So originally from Hanley Hills, right there at Page and Hanley. So the Normandy School District. Yeah. Went to Ascension St. Paul for grade school. So that was off in Normandy, right off of National Bridge. No, they changed it to Girls Inc. The last thing I saw, but you know, it's tough.
Oh, so it's not even a Catholic school anymore?
No.
When did it close?
A long time ago, dude. I think Ascension may have closed a few years after I was there. So
it's been a long time. It's been closed for
20 years easy.
Okay.
Easy. So was at Ascension from 3rd grade through 8th grade. Then got introduced.
Were you in Normandy schools before that?
No, I was at St. Thomas More. It was another Catholic private small school, and so private schools all my life. But then high school is when I got to meet you, St. Louis University High, the St. Louis University High.
Yes, yep, exactly.
Then went from there. Took my talents out of state to not even out of state, I guess across the state. Went to Rockhurst University. In Kansas City, so did undergrad and grad school.
But why did you choose Rockhurst? I mean, I know you had a couple of schools. I mean, I know you, but I mean, why did you choose Rockhurst out of all those selections you had?
So, like, obviously, school played sports, messed up my knee, and it was, you need to figure out something else other than trying to be an athlete, right? So didn't even understand the whole athlete piece, but I had the advantage, you know, being 8th grade, I was 6'3", 270, right? This is coming out of 8th grade. So grew several more inches and got into sports late. But after I messed up my knee, it was like very clear, need to figure out something else. Books, right? So before that, when I say had kind of just enough to do all right, not to get kicked out of SLUH, which, again, grade school.
Well, yeah, let's go. Before we go there, let's go back to that then. Like, so that them, because those moments are pivotal. And I think any person that went to SLUH Live, like that's their pivotal moment. Some for the good and for the bad. You know what I'm saying? Either aspect. So when you talk about that for a second. When you like, yo, I was on that breaking point and felt it all the time.
Dude, so I went to Ascension St. Paul, all Black, co-ed, Catholic school, right? So which just in and of itself almost seems like an anomaly of sorts in Normandy. So again, like I said, it was a co-ed setting. It was one of those things where everybody else was like me, middle class, Black folks. 96, a little bit later in 96, go to St. Louis University High. And
but was you on the path basically go to Cardinal Ritter, basically, right? Is that what?
Absolutely. Cardinal Ritter, Luther, North. That was essentially 2 options. You had Cardinal Ritter, Luther, and North. You know, some folks like if they lived up north, maybe did the Hazelwood piece, and my parents hadn't moved to Blackjack Florissant until I was in high school, but otherwise would have been in Normandy School District.
And you was like, Normandy, man, that ain't cracking.
It wasn't happening. No, my folks weren't gonna let that.
That's like your folks would definitely, your mama wouldn't let you go to Normandy.
It wasn't, yeah. Penny Alley wouldn't have me. Wasn't gonna do it.
But
and it's no disrespect to Normandy. It's just
no. It's just I just know his mom's, and I just know that wouldn't. The Tommy ain't going to know Normandy.
Well, here's the thing though. Like we had that Upward Bound program. Like, so that's when I got introduced to SLUH. This was what, 7th, 8th grade.
Oh, so you did the junior high school piece.
Otherwise, I knew nothing about SLUH. It was one of those things where it was SLUH was a university. It wasn't a high school, and so it wasn't until I had that experience with Upward Bound that it was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And hanging out like an all male environment. You know, in grade school, you think, nah, I don't ever want to go to school with all dudes. Like, nah, I want to do it. And academically, one of the best situations I've ever been in my entire life.
I tell people that all the time. I don't think I haven't been challenged academically since then.
Cause I think the beauty of it, dude, is like you take away all the other stuff. You take away the egos, right? So if it's an ego, it's based on true pedigree, right? Is who you are. It's not having to worry about what you're wearing or this latest fashion or being liked by this person or the other. It's just come to class, survive, maybe do some sports and some curriculars, and then go on to that next level. So it was a way to grow without having the stressors of the other aspects of puberty, right? So I think it keeps your ego in check in some regards, because I mean, it was no reason to be to show off, right? Like, who you showing off for? This dude next to you? I don't care about him, right? Not like in a romantic fashion. So it was just, it was a way to grow without having to deal with some of the other issues that come along with co-ed environments.
So after being at SLUH, you got Rockhurst. We talk about your story at Rockhurst, like how you chose Rockhurst.
Yeah, so my mom worked with the VA. So mom was with VA for almost 40 years. And she introduced me to this OT that worked at the VA with her. And I'm like, what's OT? So in high school, messed up my knee, obviously, and then had PT, and at the same time was exposed at the clinic to OT. So went out, and my godmother lived out in Cuba, Missouri. And so rural town. So when she was talking about OT, I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. She had her own clinic at her house, and was talking about all this just equipment and these practices and techniques to help people get back home. All right, that's pretty neat. So then I started looking into the schools that had OT. So applied to WashU, SLUH, Mizzou, Rockhurst, I think Xavier in Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken, University of Morehouse, applied to Morehouse. They didn't have an OT program, but nonetheless, it was like, hey, let's just look at these different schools. But then
I think Morehouse just let us in because we went to all boys school. I think everybody got into Morehouse just off the strength. Like, oh, okay, we don't even worry about it.
And it would have been cool, right? Like if
I would have been able to go matriculate there easily.
Truly. And so it was one of those things where Rockhurst was far enough away from St. Louis where I could, continue to be kind of my individual self, but it was close enough where if and when I needed to be home, I could in 4 hours. So it was a Jesuit situation. Again, you go from Jesuit high school to Jesuit university, and some of the similar principles and concepts and cultures. So it felt natural going to Rockhurst, and then obviously they are aligned with Rockhurst High School, which we were familiar with because Rockhurst High School had a powerhouse football team, and a reputable name as well. So Rockhurst was a natural fit.
So why did you choose? So you go there, and what made you decide to go into the field you did there? What was it about that said, I'm going to go into OT?
OT, that's a good question, Darryl. I don't know if I ever just took the time. I thought it was cool when I got first introduced to it early on. Did some shadowing and saw what the field was about and just the way you impact people. So you're literally taking, obviously you got equipment and technology and processes that help you improve someone's functional ability. However, it's truly a connection between two people. You're taking two people and you've got one person who's compromised, another person has the resources to help minimize or eliminate that situation for them. So you have to have the backing behind it. You can't just go in and do some arm extensions, right? Like that in of itself won't get someone back to where they need to be. So understand the things that go into the rehabilitation of the body. So formally doing the science classes, which is kind of neat. And we had that foundation at SLUH. So the biologies, the chemistries, the physics, et cetera, the math aspects. So I like math, like numbers. And this is kind of a way to just pull everything together. And it led to some opportunities, been great for me. And a lot of exposure to some great people along the way. And it's moved me around the country a few times.
Yeah, a couple of different places. Louisville, KC, now you're in Oklahoma City. What is it about the field that you love now about being in it where it's like, all right, this is my thing? And then, what made you decide I want to matriculate and I want to go to management, I want to go to an executive position? Kind of package that together for us.
So, Darryl, and the reality is that I didn't go into OT thinking this was going to be my trajectory. Right. It was go in to help people learn this skill. And I knew it was something that would allow me some freedoms to move around the country, to get into some different healthcare systems and whatnot. But I never thought it was a way for me to go into management, leadership, executive leadership. And so if I said that, it wouldn't be true. Right. I went in thinking, hey, I like to be a therapist. Early on, and again, it's one of those things where sometimes people see talent in you that you don't even see in yourself. So I had a boss who was, relatively speaking, a young lady at the time, and she had an opportunity to get promoted. That filled a vacancy. Coincidentally, her name was Sharon. And why I say that is because my boss now, that gave me an opportunity to come to Oklahoma City, her name is Sharon. Different Sharon though.
Yeah.
But she saw the work ethic, right? So it's the things that I got from my parents, honest, right? Like my dad's type A personality, show up on time, punctuality, say, do what you're gonna do, what you say, be there, be present, take care of the things that are important to you. That's who he is through and through. And then mom, she's just hard worker, go, 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 and apply yourself. When you apply yourself, at the end of the day, it's nothing to be ashamed of, right? If you try something and you give it your all and you don't succeed at it, then it's life. But you take a situation and you don't try something and you don't achieve, then that's on you, right? And own that accountability aspect. So my boss at the time, Sharon, seemingly saw those things. So it was an opportunity to move into a lead therapist role within about a year and a half of starting as a new grad OT, then moved into a director role within a couple years. And those transitions, dude, are important, right? Because you go from working as essentially apprentice, like you're literally out in this
day to day in the trenches.
You're in the trenches, right? You going in and you're the rookie. And then next thing you know, you're a peer, you're parallel. Then as you grow, now you're a superior, right? Structurally, not as greater person, you know. So it's a lot of growth and humility that comes along with that on both ends, right? So like there were folks who were willing to allow me to lead, and so I had that I had that responsibility on me. So I can't let these folks down. Make certain these patients are taken care of. Want to make certain that our hospitals are doing well, and it worked out. And you do all the things that you ask your team to do day in and day out. If you don't live by that, then I don't know what leadership means to you. So if anything, the thing that's allowed me the greatest success is being willing to be at that bedside, to do any and everything that I ask my teams to do, and to know that sometimes people need grace, right? Everybody's not going to be perfect. I wasn't perfect. And in healthcare, you're dealing with imperfect people, right? So you got families and situations you don't quite understand everything. Like, is this person being mean because that's who they are, or they've been in a hospital for the last 3 months? They've lost a significant other. They've been disconnected from a child, been impacted by COVID. You just don't know that story until you know it. And so going in and understanding that grace is one of those things that everyone appreciates.
So how many times when you come into a meeting or you start a new job and they don't think you're the person that's managing them?
Why would that happen, Darryl?
Are they scared to be like, I mean, I was gonna say something. He didn't look like that on the Zoom. Like, you know, like like remote, and then he's like
so
they jumping real bad on the Zoom call, but
it's a lot different. You do a Zoom call, or even before, just on the phone, right?
Yeah.
And this is the person I was talking to, like, what's going on in this
like,
situation?
hold on, this thing, no, Thomas, no, that's him over there.
right. They're going there and shaking the wrong hand.
Yep.
It happens a lot because I think when people
because I know we've talked about it. That's why like people would not
right. Like people think athlete of some sorts, right? Like very large man, and then just the stereotypes, right? You see a young African American male. Okay, you're a tech, you're someone in maybe an entry level position or whatnot, and that's the assumption. Had that assumption, it doesn't bother me. That's the beauty of it. I think when you get caught up in titles and being better than is where you start to fail. And so a lot of times I use those as teaching examples because, hey, I'm going to let you go with this assumption as far as we get around the corner and it's like, hey, Thomas, such and such, can you do this and that? And it's like, wait, you're that guy. You make those decisions and whatnot. And it doesn't always happen like that. Again, there's always going to be times when people, regardless of role or responsibilities, will marginalize you. But you can't, 1,000 other times to the contrary.
So no, people don't know how big you are. I want you to give them the story about how you ended up working security during the Kentucky Derby for a celebrity. Then I'll let you tell the story.
So,
I know because you was like, I've been kind of living for one of these moments where you could just be like, throw people out the way, like move people out the way.
I know it's probably one of your favorite stories of mine.
I love this story.
Hey, it was one of my great life events. So lived in Louisville, Kentucky Derby every single year. You got any and everybody that flies in for this. It's a great time for visitors to the city, but for folks that live there, you're just like, I want to be away from everything. I don't want to deal with the traffic, you know, everything. Like, so like if you're from New Orleans, like my wife is, like Mardi Gras means really nothing, right? Not that it means nothing, but it's not that thing that has that draw of Bourbon Street because you've been around this your entire life. So Kentucky Derby was happening this weekend, and we talked about just low key. We're gonna stay in the house, throw some stuff on the grill, just chill, avoid getting out of the streets by all costs. I'm on Facebook, and a friend of mine, Ashley Turner, she worked at the hospital, and she had posted a picture of Shaquille O'Neal, my favorite athlete in the entire world. And so she's 8 feet away from this guy, and he's in Louisville, Kentucky. Call it starstruck, whatever you want to call it. I was like, I need to get out. I need to be wherever she is, because she's like in arm's reach of this dude that's my favorite athlete of all time. So I talked to Jess.
One of the only men that may be bigger than you.
True. And Orlando Pace.
And Orlando Pace, yes.
And Orlando Pace. So the 2 times I felt small in life. And so I turned to Jess and I'm like, hey, that's Shaq. And of course, she's like, okay, and I'm going back to sleep. Like, I'm going out. It's like, have fun. So I had my work suit was already out because I had come from work a few hours earlier, and I'm gonna throw this on, whatever. So I got
It's already out.
So I got my suit on and my dress shirt, and so to keep it cool, untuck the dress shirt, right? And then you go from a professional to ready to kick it by untucking the shirt, right? It's a law.
And this is during the era where we was going to the club like we was going up for a job interview.
Good point, right?
That's how we dressed back then.
That was it. That was a mandate. So I go down to downtown Louisville, and this club where he's at is packed, can't get in. So I go over to 4th Street Live. So 4th Street is blocked off, and they've got all these restaurants, bars, Howl at the Moon, dueling pianos, you name it. There's people everywhere. I'm walking in, and it couldn't have been 3 minutes into it. This guy, he shouts out. He's like, hey, big man, out of nowhere. And I'm like, knowing that he's drunk, this is just par for the course when you're dealing with Derby. So I'm just like, hey, whatever. And he's like, come hang out with us. And so it's him and his girlfriend. I'm assuming this is his girlfriend. I was like, all right, cool. I'll go walk over there, and we start talking and this and that. And he's like, man, you're so big. And this, I'm not sure why that's an icebreaker, but 4 times. This is what the conversation is. He's like, man, you're so big, this, that, yada, yada, yada. So he's trying to offer me a drink. And I'm like, okay, cool. I hang out with him for a while. Then, I don't know, we're probably 20 minutes in. He's like, dude, it's like you're my bodyguard or something, right? And he's like, I will literally pay you to be my bodyguard. I think about it for a minute. Cool, let's do it. So I get into character, right? Like I tell you about my dad, he's like, you commit, you do what you say that you're going to do. This dude just hired me.
Keep in mind though, people, he would have, like, he's already business minded, already in the corporate setting, but this is an area of life that he, like a parallel universe. He wanted this to be able to do something like this.
So perfect opportunity, right? To get into character. And so, all right, cool. I've seen enough movies to understand what bodyguards do. I get into character.
Keep in mind, y'all, he has no training in this.
Absolutely none. Like, this goes south. Y'all be cool. Sorry.
He ain't got no permits. He ain't got nothing.
So I'm like, get into character. And what I am used to is like going out. You've experienced this and benefited from this. We go out to the club, like if it's some space, we need to get to point B. I'm taking a direct path to get to point B and moving people out the way.
Yes.
I had a humbling experience in Dallas that taught me I need to be more considerate of people's feelings when I'm moving people out the way, but that's another story. Anyway, Jesus, some stories. And he's got this girlfriend, and she's got on this dress, and she's got like the most amazing legs on the planet. Like I'm talking about, these are model-esque legs, right? Cool. So they talking, doing their thing, and then they're like, come on with us. All right, so now I'm bodyguarding for
4 people.
3 people and myself, right? So it's those So sorry, 4. You're right.
Yeah.
The 2 couples. And all right, cool. In character, breaking through folks, waving them through. We get to this club, and I'm like, only thing they can do is say no. I literally walk up to the front of the line, and I'm like, how much is it for my clients to get in, right? And I slide the dude to 20. He says, come on. We bypass this entire line and get in. So I'm loving every piece of this.
So you like, in your inside, you are bugging up, huh? Like,
I'm like, this works. And so we get in the club. I'm creating a perimeter, and like folks are like, I'm making certain that they don't come into their space. And I'm like, who is that guy? And I was like, I'm not able to discuss my clients. Like, I loved it. They're offering me drinks and all kind of stuff, and I was like, no, I'm on the clock. Like, I got in the character that much. I wouldn't even enjoy drinks. Could have drank for free. And then we hung out there for a couple of hours. I dropped him off at the hotel, made a few $100s, just like that.
And so you get back home, and then you tell your wife, like, hey, what happened? Nothing. Like,
I told her the story, and she's like, she believed me, but she's like, no, it couldn't have went down the way it did. So I'm showing her pictures, and I gotta show you
got proof of everything.
Like, this is us, and then like picking up people and hanging out, and then taking selfies inside of the club and next to different folks. Like, it was a very neat time in life.
Dude, that's this one. I love that story, man. You tell that, man. So even within your career, even what would you think is like a pillar or something that you would give someone advice for, of like how they're able to matriculate kind of just period, like goals in life, not even just in this corporate America, but any place?
Darryl, when I think about what made a difference for me is the way you treat people and showing up, right? There have been folks that are more gifted, smarter, better than me, but I show up every day. I've been with my company 15 years. I missed several days because of COVID back in 2020. But other than that, I've never called in. And not to glorify that, because again, there has to be that balance of personal life and work. But I truly believe that it's important for me to be there, right? So that means when you don't feel good, again, work at a hospital. So it's like that, do you go to the hospital sick or do you not, right? But at the same time, like, my team knows that if they need me to be there, I'll be there. So if it's ice, if it's snow, if it's hot, if it's raining, if it's now dealing with tornado warnings out in Oklahoma City, you show up and try. Like the thing is that there is no magic leadership book that tells you how to deal with every situation. But what I can tell you that is essential to any type of thing that you're going to do that's going to impress people is being there. So be there, give your best, lead by example, be humble, treat people with respect. And obviously you need to throw in some principles and practices, things that will drive your culture along with that, like to have strategies, meaningful strategies, and those things like books. I'm in school right now, so you looking at things. So you gotta continue to grow from an academic and from an academic perspective, but all said and done, being there and making certain that your team knows that you're willing to do anything that you ask of them.
It's interesting because I just heard someone say a quote of persistence means nothing if you don't have reflection. Like, you can keep this going hard if you ain't reflecting on what you did before.
What difference you're making, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you can't be like, okay, I need to move this around, change this around, but keep going at it. You just can't be like, I'm just gonna go hard and do the same thing.
But you've got to be humble, dude, because like, it's things that you learn every single day about patience, about teams, about policy, about just economies, you name it. And if you don't learn from those things, it's easy to get caught doing things that worked in the past and failing in the future.
So you meaning like it worked in the past, but you're not understanding that the game kind of changed. Things need something else is different than that old procedure was.
Right. So like if I went and let's say, I mean, if we utilize the example of school, if I apply what I learned in grade school to SLUH, and I just, because I thrived in grade school, if I kept with that same plan in grade school, from grade school, wouldn't have made it at SLUH, right? Just as well, when I went into the next level, it was different expectations, different things I needed to deliver on. And it was important for me to take from this situation to make certain that I'm applying what I need to this situation right now, understanding that what that may be tomorrow may be something different.
Okay. So what else do you feel that being someone Black in your position that's you being a CEO of a medical facility is a big, I mean, ain't that many Black folks doing that, period, whatever. How does that kind of in the mix of like how you kind of perceive and look at it? Because it's a different kind of visuality many times for us. And especially when we get higher positions.
It's the responsibility that comes along with that, Darryl, right? So when I go out, I recognize that I'm not going out just as Thomas Elliott, right? I'm going out as a reflection of my parents, St. Louis University High, of Rockhurst University, of St. Louis, of Kansas City, of these different things that have helped mold me. And that continues with my occupation. When I go out, I'm a representative of Mercy Rehab. And you always want to put forth an image that people are willing to find palatable, one, and then two, are inspired by, right? Because if I come across as something that is distasteful, arrogant, rude, disrespectful, and those are the things that are passed down to patients that come into our facility, that's on me. So I can't reflect those things and then say, I want you to do something differently. So it's a responsibility that I think you take pride in, right? Because like when you talk about teaching folks and being example for folks and to create that next opportunity for someone that does look like me and you, that doesn't happen by chance. It happens because there was someone that was given an opportunity and they were successful with it. There was someone who was given an opportunity that made an opportunity for someone else. Those are the ways that you make those roles meaningful. And so it's not just a title, it's making certain that you are representing the things that are important to your community and to folks that look up to you.
You ain't running the I'm black, I ain't black, I'm OJ.
Nah, I can't. Too dark for that.
This is the last part of our interview. This is my section, this or that. I give you two topics or two things. You only can choose one.
Okay.
All right. Martin or Fresh Prince?
Martin.
All right. Different World or Cosby Show?
Cosby Show. I think I've seen 2 episodes of Different World in my entire life.
Wow, that is going to get some crazy stuff in the comments right there. Like that. We should start. I was going to say what my next one is. It's an open-ended question. What is one thing people will be surprised that you do not know, haven't seen, or didn't do? Like where it's like, oh, everybody did this, or you know what I mean? Like where it's like they'd be like, oh, you haven't did, or you didn't listen to, or you didn't see.
So Set It Off, I watched that for the first time a little less than a year ago. So all the quotes from Set It Off, I knew nothing about.
Toto, you didn't go with us all when we went to see Set It Off?
No. Dude, the first time I saw Set It Off was less than a year ago.
Because I thought it was like us and then some of the Incarnate Girls. We did because Tyson was driving.
Maybe. I wasn't in that movie though.
You might have, okay. Man, wow, you hadn't seen Set It Off?
No, exactly. And that's like, and then when I told Jess that, she had the exact same, she's like, wait, see, said it all as if this was a rite of passage that was essential, right?
Yeah, no, it's certain things. I mean, I try not to be like that as much. I'm trying to be humble with some charging people for their blackness. So, you know, that's one of those where it's like, dang.
That's fair.
All right, Nas or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
All right. Next up, this is a triple threat match. Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, or Juice.
All right. So here's another one.
Oh
no! I maybe seen about 20 minutes of Juice. Like, so I know the scene at the basketball court at the park.
No, there's no scene in the basketball court in Juice.
What am I thinking of?
You thinking Above the Rim?
Ah, you're right. See, that lets you know. You gotta cut that from this. I know nothing about Juice. I know.
Hold on, you never seen Juice?
Dude, I don't think I've ever sat down and
Pac's
watched
first movie?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Okay.
Hopefully, I'm not letting you down.
No, you didn't let me down.
Menace to Society.
Many people haven't seen it. I'm not surprised.
Menace to Society or
Boys in the Hood. You down to 2 at this point. Well, you know what? Let's take Juice out. I'm gonna make it spicier for you then. New Jack City. We'll enter New Jack City in. Then between those 3.
Okay. So I know
don't say I haven't seen New Jack City either. Like
about 5 years ago. So
hold on. Thomas.
It's some things that don't align. I get it, but if
this doesn't align with
the movies not gonna put on here.
You corporate and all that, but we know each other since the mud, and this is all super surprised. I've known you more than my life than I've been alive. Like that's more than half of my life. Like
true.
And I didn't hold on. You have known
like this is the director's cut. Like this is done, huh?
Okay. Hey, well, let me add another one. Let me change the movie out then.
Now if you throw Training Day in there, so I've got most.
Okay, we could do that. We'll put Training Day in there because it's all West Coast movies. We'll make it easy. Training Day, Boys in the Hood, or Menace to Society.
I got the most quotes from Training Day, and that I most frequently utilize. Then close second would probably be Boys in the Hood. There's a lot of life lessons in Boys in the Hood.
All right. If you didn't go to SLUH, what other MCC school would you have went to?
Normandy is what I would have did. Now I'm talking.
Good answer. Good answer.
If I hadn't gone to SLUH, I think naturally the next.
Look at your face. It's like
I got nothing, dude. I got nothing.
That's fine. No, we go next question. You ain't got to
even say that. CBC. Like I guess naturally, like you think CBC, right? Like they probably had the HBCU of all male schools when we were coming up.
Yeah.
But no, I can't do it. So
yeah, it wasn't your vibe. After you realize and you see how the sausage is made, you realize it's not your vibe. You know, every one of them have their own vibe to them.
Yeah. So I would have Cardinal Ritter, sign me up, Luther Norton.
All right. Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan?
Jordan.
LeBron James or Kobe Bryant?
LeBron.
This is the real hate for Kobe right here coming through. And I ain't mad at it. Hey,
I'm a Shaq fan, dude. So, like, hey, rest his soul. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely. No respect to it. I had mad game. My dude was Shaq. So, you know, it's just natural. But
yeah. All right. Have you seen The Wire? Before I ask this. Okay. Next, let me go name my next question.
Dude, I don't watch a lot of TV, so let me put that disclaimer out there.
No, this show is dude, Thomas. This show it's people graduating high school when this show started, so it's that long. So it's not like it's something going on now where you're busy. This is when you weren't doing nothing.
But I'm saying I've never been a big TV watcher though, so like, not that that's an excuse. I'm just saying that it's a number of things that just. If it's on the screen, then maybe not capture my attention. So, like a lot of this stuff today,
All right, OU or KU?
Ooh. So Texas Longhorn fan through and through. So naturally my disdain is for OU. However,
you also from Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri, they're Mizzou KUPs. So if OU is playing KU, who would I root for? That's just disrespectful, dude. That's a disrespectful question.
Well, you can choose one, man.
I'm going to root for KU versus OU.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. I would have thought you would have went OU over KU just because of the long time strife we've had towards KU. It's St. Louisans.
Dude, and it's deep rooted.
And you live in Oklahoma saying this.
Right. I'm in the lion's lair. Like
you're in the belly of the beast saying this.
Right there every day. And what's odd though is that let's say you're a KU fan and you're in Missouri, or Mizzou fan and you're in Kansas and Lawrence. That hate is palatable. Like you know it. Dude, when I tell you, like if I'm not wearing some work clothes, I probably got on some Texas Longhorn gear of some sorts, right? It's either club gear, even though I'm not clubbing, Texas Longhorn gear, or work. And people be like, they had a good game this weekend. So I'm waiting for the jab, waiting for the gotcha. But they're just nice, dude. Oklahoma people are.
You think that you also, because you 6'6", 6'7", and 300 some pounds, that they?
But I'm 6'6", 6'7", so everywhere else too.
Oh, and you think and people have come at you?
I mean, people say smart stuff like, "Oh, they suck," or this and that. I'm like,
ain't nobody trying to run up on you though. That's a different thing. But you know what? But you know what? I think black people's sports them is different than the average other person. Because I don't have people just run up on me either for stuff, and I ain't a big guy either. I just don't think we position ourselves for that, except for that fight at that Buffalo Bill. Do you see that Buffalo Bills Cincinnati fight?
No.
I will send you that video. This is one of the first times I've seen actually black fans and white fans in unison fighting together against another set of white and black fans. So it's like Buffalo Bills fans versus Cincinnati fans. This might have been last year at the end of the season, and they banging. I was in the stalls, throwing stalls on each other. And I'm talking about black and white are high-fiving over beating up another set of black and white people from the other team.
That's diversity right there. Dude, I was just talking about this though. I want to be in a situation where there are enough black coaches and black quarterbacks where I can root against them. And
what's up, y'all? This is RVS.
This is ROD, aka Rated R.
And we are the We Coming For You cast. And we talk about pro wrestling from a black dude's perspective. Tell them what they can expect on this here podcast.
Oh, we gonna give you all the raw and dirty and the everything black from AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, and any other wrestling in between. If you want your wrestling unfiltered, uncensored, and you want it raw, you need to subscribe to the We Come For You cast.
Right here on SOLC Network.
I feel bad.
Right. Honestly, what was the first black quarterback you openly felt like you could root against? And not feel bad, like, man, are you even there yet? It's the next question. Are you even
Not
there?
really, dude. So, where I struggled was Tony Banks. When they came,
Yes. I was gonna say that was my first one. That was my first one.
But he's the only one. That's the thing. That's the doubt. Like, he's the
And I
only
heard
one.
he was a cool guy. I heard personally he was a cool dude.
He probably was. He's just a horrible quarterback from my perspective.
Yeah.
And so it was hard for him to be here and the team be in. So I think that was probably the first time and I was young too, so I didn't really have this consciousness that exists now. So it was one of the things like, I hate this dude because of his game, but all said and done, no, I don't think there's any quarterbacks or coaches that I'm just like, nah, I shy away from. These folks I don't necessarily like, but I still want them to do all right.
Right. That's it. That's when we know we ain't free yet. There's one. It's like a 10 checklist thing of like things we know when we free. That's one of them. When we can openly be comfortable rooting against somebody black, especially in a sport where something's dominated by other people. Like black quarterback. It's hard to root against. Harder to root against a black coach in any sport. I guess the only place we can openly root against someone black is basketball, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I mean, think about every sport. Seriously, though.
True. No, 1,000%.
Like, you may not like the team. Like, okay, I don't like Antonio Brown. Like, I mean, I openly root against him, but it's not because of like, it's because of him, what he does personally on his own. Not even nothing against his game. It's just him.
And that should be the situation. Like, I don't like him just because I don't like him.
And
right?
even then, I still debate myself, man, do I be going too hard on him? Like,
you want to give him grace, which is important. But it's like, where can we cut that grace off?
Exactly. What are we gonna call you an AO and just keep it pushing, like,
and be done, right? And everybody's like, you know what? Yeah, that's true. I understand. I hate that guy.
All right, Chicago or New Orleans for travel?
New Orleans.
You knew what to say,
By
right? Because you already knew you had to say that, huh?
Had to. But hey, New Orleans is fun, dude. So you got fishing, you got just stuff, and it's just like I learn something new every time I go down to New Orleans.
Because you're in New Orleans. How often you get down to New Orleans?
Now probably once a year, maybe twice.
But before the pandemic, how y'all would get down there a lot?
Probably 3-4 times a year, once a quarter. Yeah. And in Chicago, so if I'm in Chicago, if I had a helicopter, which is my life dream, is to have a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
If I get dropped off in Chicago and be where I'm going to be, then I like Chicago. But if I got to drive in Chicago, Chicago's automatically ruled out, no matter what.
If you can get dropped off to your destination, like via helicopter,
I'm good. But if it requires me having to get into a vehicle when dealing with that traffic in Chicago, nah, sign me up.
All right, if you didn't go into your occupation now, what would be your other occupation you would have chosen?
Mixtapes. No.
That'd have been funny.
I got bars. No. I mean, so here's maybe a regret. When I was playing sports, I didn't understand sports, right? Like I was being introduced to it, but I had a head start because of my size. But I didn't understand like
you didn't know the mechanics of it.
The mechanics of it, right? So I didn't understand practice and this and that. Like I didn't put the two together. But then if it was a game or whatnot, it was one of those things where I had events because I was probably taller than a kid, bigger than a kid, and maybe even stronger than most kids, right? But I didn't understand the sport. So I think that if I had life to do all over again, sports would have played a bigger role early. Like the fortunate thing is it's twofold. My parents never forced me into sports. My dad was a football fan. Mom was a basketball fan. They never pushed sports on me, and they probably had the largest kid out of all their friends by far. But they never put sports on me. So it was like the first time I played really basketball was 7th, 8th grade.
And you got to think that somebody else would have had you in 3rd grade, pushing it on you in 3rd grade.
Easy. Like, and what made me actually even get into it, going to girls. So it was a girl named Lamiko Moore. So if you listen to this, Lamiko, you remember this moment, because I do. We were in the gym, and this is at Ascension, and the ball got caught between the rim and the backboard. And so they were trying to find a way to get this ball unlodged. And so somebody said, well, just jump up there, because I'm 6'2", 6'3" at this point, and dislodge the ball. So I try to jump, and it's a 10-foot rim, and there was probably this much space between my hand and this ball. So she says, oh, Tommy. So she knew me from, like, my family calls me Tommy. Everybody else calls me Thomas. She said, oh, Tommy, was like disappointed. And that next year got on 3 basketball teams. True story.
Never happened to me again.
Never again in life. But again, it was like I was late to sports, so I didn't understand it. But so I think to do it all over again would have applied myself differently in sports to see where it would have gone. Like, do I think it would have been an NFL, NBA? No. But do I think that Easy could have played college ball for a Division I school? Likely. And everything that comes along with that. I think that the athletes that I've known, just their experiences, I think, are just kind of neat. And being able to travel and having exposure to folks and situations, this is the beauty of education in general. The thing I loved about SLUH was it took me out of North County. Like it was getting introduced to places in St. Louis I didn't even know existed.
I agree.
Right. And then when I got to Rockhurst again, then how that expanded even more, being able to have introductions to situations and experiences that otherwise wouldn't have come with my trajectory. So sports. Easy answer.
All right. 2 more left. Nia Long or Halle Berry?
Nia Long between the two would probably opt out of both.
What do you mean you would opt out of both? You got to pick between the two.
Well, I'm saying I would go with Nia Long out of those two, but I'm saying like
this. But why are you? Okay, well, you bring another entrant to the battle. If it's
my wife, dude, of course.
Dude, get up.
No, and you can't say nothing back because you've been recorded. No, so if I think about,
wait till we get off of here.
I'm sure I probably don't have a text already. But you like I had a crush on Alicia Keys, so that was
okay.
So Alicia Keys, Nia Long, Halle Berry, Alicia Keys, easily.
Okay. All right, this is the final one. If Kansas City or Dallas in a battle of Kansas City and Memphis in a battle of barbecue, who comes out winning?
Kansas City.
Okay. That Gates.
Who you pulling?
Oh no, I'm going KC too though. I'm actually going KC. Oh. Yeah, I'm surprised that, I mean, a lot of people have said Memphis. Like they like the Memphis barbecue.
What's Memphis style barbecue though? You know, like St. Louis, we got pork steaks. Like what's Memphis?
Theirs is more the rib, that dry rub on the rib, and then the sauce on top. I believe is all theirs.
And you mentioned Gates. Actually, LC's is where I would have gone, and then in Kansas City. In Kansas City's got a place called LC's. It used to be a little hole in the wall. I've been there in 10 years, but if it's still there, then LC's, I'm taking over Gates.
All right. Man, thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. Like, even though you up here breaking my heart with some of the stuff I didn't know about you, man. I didn't know. I thought you was blacker than this.
I'll accept that. I get that. It's cool. I got time. So by the time I'm in St. Louis.
But this is like one of those things of like, you know, like if you found out that somebody know how to tie, you know what I'm saying? They 40-some years old. You like, so you got to your whole life.
Disappointed. Just like, we ain't even boys no more. I don't even know how.
You feel like, how'd you get through life not knowing how to tie? And you went up through all these levels. Like, it's like you missing a piece of the puzzle. How you ain't seen this? But nah, man. Thank you. I mean, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like everything you accomplished, everything you're doing. I appreciate you doing this, man.
I appreciate you, dude. And hey, I'm sharing this story because I think
don't do it.
So I mentioned how I messed up my knee in high school.
And you was gonna do this.
So Darryl, 1,000 times, any other time, it was back and forth. I mean, like this dude would run up on me in high school and try to shank me in my neck with the blunt end of a pencil. It was
prison rules. People don't understand that all boys school, like prison rules, baby. Prison rules on the yard.
Right. And so there was never a time when there weren't insults being tossed back and forth between
a lot of them inappropriate for nowadays. A lot of them inappropriate.
1,000% inappropriate. And on Darryl's end, my all innocent.
Which is messed up because he will tag me in random stuff from back in like 06 Facebook that I said that was like totally out of bounds.
Have you ever found anything to the contrary is my question.
Right, because you send your stuff through text or something.
Neither confirm nor deny. It was never happened. But I messed up my knee. And so I had this brace, a straight leg brace, and I couldn't get around this and that. This dude who spent probably about 98% of the time of our conversations calling me some name other than my name, he comes to my parents' house, picks me up, and we went out. This was hanging out with Micah and Liz. You remember we went, it was like some, I don't know if it was graduation party or whatnot.
Yeah, so it was around that time.
It was like Outback Steakhouse or some
What people don't understand, that was like high level cuisine back in the day.
That was Hollywood at the time.
Yeah,
that was big money.
Yeah,
and so trying to find a place to sit down, and Darryl was going around looking around for finding a chair so I could prop my leg up on. I mean, it was the sweetest thing ever in life, and I can say that this is my dude since day one. And
look,
I
I feel bad for the afflicted. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel bad for the afflicted when they go through something.
And so couldn't have asked for a better situation. This dude made sure he picked me up, got me to the restaurant, hanging out with some cool people, made sure my leg was protected. And so I paid him back the only way that you can. I called him out his name for doing all that stuff because he was soft.
It's all about what's called me soft.
Don't you ever do nothing like that to me again, ever.
That's what I'm saying. See, y'all don't understand. Like Thomas is a big dude, so you gotta go at him. You just can't let him ride because he's gonna try to. He already can roll over you. You might as well fight with some dignity.
You did.
I'm gonna have my dignity. I'm gonna get hurt, but I'm gonna have my dignity.
And you keep coming back.
One day I'm gonna get you. That's the whole thing. It was like one day I'm gonna get you.
So
No,
and then
I'm proud of you, man. We proud of you, bro.
Proud of you, man. Every time. Appreciate you giving me this opportunity, man. Love you. Much respect. Keep doing your thing. Proud of what you're doing for SLUH. Proud of what you're doing for your daughter, Xander, and the missus. Hey, keep thriving, my man. Love you.